As I have shared this before, my mother lives by herself with a carer. And most evening, I am fortunate to have a FaceTime with her. And sometimes it's harder because she would have an afternoon nap. So by the time I call there in India, it would be around 4 o'clock or 4:30 in the evening. So, the afternoon nap, and she's still sort of, who is this? I don't want to talk to you. And mom would say, why are you still staying in that? Come inside. I was like, I wish. But then certain days, mom's really sharp. Mom's really talkative. She can remember everything. She's so happy. And even her words are very clear. And I can think that somebody has been there to visit my mother. And it's most of the time I'm correct. And I would ask the carer, has anyone been there? And she would say, the in-laws came to visit. Her brother, with whom she is very close, came to visit. My nieces went to visit her, or my sister went to visit her. And it just, it's a magic. These visitations really works her memories, her movements. And I, as being the comedian, I would want to surprise my mother whenever I go home. So I would say, I will come 2 days later or 2 days early or something like that. And I will rock up. And then mom's got this energy. And the carer would say, I never thought she could do that. It's just a new energy. And when I'm around, mom would say, come, let's go and look at the tree. Because we have a tree which has a special fruit. It's not so common to have that tree, but we have it there. And mom as soon as she came into our family, she had a special love for the tree. She would collect the fruit, dry it, and process it, and sell it. That was her income. And normal days, she wouldn't go that far to walk and see it. But when I'm around, she could walk. She will take my hands off. I can go. And I'm like, don't fall. And I am amazed to how much energy this brings to her. Which brings me to the point of the power of visitation. It's got something, there is a divine grace in human connection. There is a divine grace in human connection. And in the gospel today, we see two people visiting each other and encouraging each other, inspiring each other. There is something very special about that visitation. Mary is found pregnant before knowing husband, which is a social shame, a gossip. Oh, Mary, you spent too much time in QL. Oh, she must have got drunk. One night stand, poor Joseph. Nobody knows the business between Mary and angel. Nobody knows the prayer life of Mary. Only Mary knows what she's experiencing and what kind of call God has placed upon her. That's her private story. And 2,000 years later, we call Mary Holy Mother of God, Tower of David. But at that time, for a simple woman to respond to such a profound calling, she must be so courageous and humble to trust God. And it is a shame factor for Mary. And Elizabeth, 90 years of age. Zechariah could be 96 for that matter. Not correct, but I'm just saying. And people would say, Elizabeth is flat out walking. She is pregnant now. My goodness, what are they up to these days? I mean, it would be a social embarrassment. 90 years of age with your walking stick, you're fully pregnant. And both these women may be afraid of going into town because of the gossip. And if they live in a small town like us. So what they do, they support each other. What these both women have in common, they had a personal encounter with God. They hate God. They know what is happening in them. So they cross the boundaries of shame and they meet each other. In that fellowship, they bring inspiration to each other. In that communion, in that sharing of common faith, they give life to each other. And this is the power of visitation in the Bible. We see Abraham and Sarah quite desperate for a child. And God visits them. 3 angels visit them. After that, Abraham is inspired and energized. We see in Exodus, Jacob, who really wants to be blessed. And an angel visits him. And he even fights with the angel. Unless you bless me, I wouldn't let you go. And God, or the angel, blesses him. His name even changes from Jacob to Israel. And we see Saul, who was persecuting early Christians. And there is a visit from God to Saul. And even his name changes from Saul to Paul with a new mission. So in the gospel, in the Bible we read, anyone who is visited by God, transformed with so much hope, confidence, even identity and a particular mission. And all these visitations to people who think they are weak, who think they are ostracized, who think they cannot do much. Abraham thought, I will never have a child. Jacob thought, I betrayed my brother Esau to get the inheritance. How can I make a difference to God's plan? And Saul thought, I would rather be a persecutor of Christians rather than knowing Christ. So everyone who counted themselves weak, God visits them and transforms them. There is so much power in visitation, in bringing gospel to others. But sometimes we are unable to do so in visiting others when there is shame. When people just yesterday somebody was talking to me and I said to them, all right, you feel like you are moving into depression? Can you get out right now? So on the phone, I said, get out right now. Get dressed, put me on speaker, go dress. Get out. Where should I go? Go to a coffee place. Get a coffee. Did he get the coffee? Get back in the car. Go to somewhere you can talk to me while walking near a nature. And he walked for some time talking to me, and I said, how do you feel now? Oh, I just saw a friend. Okay. Put me off, go and talk to that guy. In the evening, he sent me a text. Father Bonnie, I thought I would be depressed and maybe have a few drinks and bury myself in my misery. But when I visited the nature, when I visited the river, when I went out to get a coffee, when I met people, things have changed. When people are in shame, there is only one way to deal with that shame: crossing over the barrier of shame, reaching out to it. For Mary to reach out to Elizabeth, cross the barrier of shame, make Elizabeth feel it's okay. I am carrying, you are carrying, let's carry together. Supporting each other. But a lot of the time, with our ego, in my life, with our ego, we withhold the power of our touch, our connection, our words. I'll give you a real story. I'll take out all the elements of any sort of identification. 2 brothers, they had a big fight over property. Not property in terms of, it is about a driveway to another property. Not the property, the grandfather dealt with the property, but the firstborn wanted a driveway. The second guy said, never. Finally, they had a deal that they will get a driveway, but at the same time, the guy has to pay money and land for a driveway. Tension. Almost 7 or 8 years, they don't talk to each other. Their families will see each other. The kids will talk. The wives will talk. These 2 siblings, they don't talk. They never visit each other. And one day, some reason, maybe because it was Christmas, this guy came out of the house, started to walk towards his brother's property, which is next door. And the kids and the mother waited outside the window to see what's happening. And what could they see is the older brother walking into younger brother's property, younger brothers coming out, talking, shaking hands. And they said that Christmas was their best Christmas because they saw their dads talking. There is power in visitation. Some paths have faded away because we decided not to walk that again. Some places we can go because they long for our connection, the energy we bring to them. So let us be a Mary or Elizabeth to someone who is really hoping a change in their life. Amen.